Global Affairs Analyst Ejike Okpa joins me from Dallas, Texas to discuss this. Good to have you join us, Ejike Okpa.
Hello, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Why do you think that this withdrawal is coming earlier than expected?
Well, over the years, this is the longest war America has been engaged in. Over the years, from Obama, to Trump, even when Bush was there, American people have been asking the question, why are we there? And, Trump was the president that made the move and, said, unapologetically that America has to get out of there. We have no business being in that country. And I'm glad that President Biden is followed suit and then we're getting out earlier than we had scheduled. Again, in part of his statement, you heard, something about responsibility. Is it responsibility of Afghan people to decide what kind of country that they want? If they're killing themselves, especially innocent people, women, children, then the shame is on them. The joke is on them. So I'm very happy. I'm glad no American blood should be wasted in a country that is irresponsible. I think that's what's going around the world. You see what is happening in Haiti, the president getting killed like some kind of nobody. So people people should start looking at their country as their home and begin to, make efforts to make it right. Can't look to foreign interests to do it. When they do it at a cost that is very expensive for the host country.
And I like that recurring word responsibility because a lot of people feel that Afghanistan is in this situation it is today because of the interventionist foreign policy of the U.S. And so the U.S. should feel a sense of responsibility to stay and help.
Well, I mean, look, there's always a blame to share, blame to pass around, from colonization to independence. A lot of countries, once they are given independence, they don't never get it together. I mean, you look across Africa, more than 50 years, things going on. What is going on? People still running back to their former colonial masters, seeking counsel as to what it is they're supposed to do in their country. So when you invite, there's this saying, if you invite ants into your home, you got to be responsible for what the ants is going to do. So it goes back to the responsibility. The West would not go in except when they are asked to come in. America didn't just land there. Russia was there, and they decided at the time this is a hopeless situation, and they left. So the same thing, let every nation, no nation today is being governed by anybody that is foreign. It's all, also people from that particular country. You look at what is going on in Nigeria. Is it because Nigeria hasn't fallen foreign at the seams? So the responsibility is important. Citizens have to recognize that violence, killing people, kidnapping, all those things they do to get the attention of the government does not do anybody good. So
but
that responsibility.
Is this really about governance or about stability? Because you said something about no country is governed by foreigners, but is this really about governance or about stability? And whilst you're answering that question, what do you also think has been the achievement of NATO in Afghanistan for the past 20 years?
Well, what is NATO? NATO is another, North American treaty organization. And what do? They are more concerned about the Western, the Western part, the Western countries. Afghan, from time to time, they look in there. So my thing about responsibility, governance and government is that the individuals, it's not easy. It's not easy to, get a whole lot of people to behave in a certain kind of way. There's got to be dissension. There's got to be opposition, but it shouldn't lead to violence. You shouldn't let to where people are being kidnapped, or you making it uncomfortable, even for the government to focus. Challenge your government. Remember, America had a civil war, and when that civil war was on, a lot of Americans didn't flee the country. They didn't run back to Europe. They sat back here. A lot of people got killed, and they finally, we're still a country on experiment. We're still trying to get it figured out, but we're not out there kidnapping governors, killing people, and doing all kinds of things that some of these irresponsible countries do. Start to have the debates, the conversation, the dialogue, pass the law. If the law doesn't make sense for a long time, change it. That's what government is, and that's what governance is. Governance is about responsibility to your people, and not to anybody else. self-preservation is the first order of business. If you are not self-preserving, you're not a nation, you're not a family, you're not a tribe. Just like you see what is going on in Nigeria, everybody's on the tribal line. Who are the citizens? Who has the national interest? Who is speaking about Nigeria? So the same thing.
I guess that would leave the question as to whether the U.S. is leaving Afghanistan better than it met it or worse than it met it. But would you not have enough time to get your response on that? But thank you so much for talking to us, Global Affairs Analyst Ejike Okpa.
Thank you for having me.